Good morning. A little drive time football. The 2002 NFL set. I ordered this a while back with this box set. I also got a fictional set. I was playing a tournament with teams in 2002, but I bought it because I wanted to replay my Oakland Raiders of 2002. So I thought that I'll start that. Seattle was the first game of the season. Seattle came to the black hole when the Raiders were still in Oakland. The Raiders were coming off the devastating loss to the Patriots in the 2001 Blizzard in the championship game. Not championship game. I think that was the divisional round. I can't remember now. But Tom Brady and company held on, and Vinatieri made some just brilliant kicks in horrific weather to push the Patriots beyond Oakland in 2001. That led to John Gruden being traded away to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 2 first-round draft picks and $8 million in cash, which the Raiders ultimately, I believe, squandered. I think they may have gotten the running back who's pretty damn good in that draft, but I'm not certain if the other draft pick was Jamarcus Russell, who was a miserable, bad #1 quarterback. Long story short, this was the beginning. This was the end of an era in Oakland in which Gruden had taken over, and a young head coach had turned the Raiders around with the help of Bruce Allen as his GM. So you had Al Davis, Bruce Allen, George Allen's son. You had Al Davis, Bruce Allen as the assistant GM, and you had John Gruden. And they built together a pretty remarkable veteran Oakland team. They were, I think, the oldest team in football by the time they made the Super Bowl in this season. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with this particular team. I loved Gruden. I loved his mentality. I did not like the dink and dunk passing game of 2002. Anyway, they ended up in the Super Bowl, and they got their butts completely stomped by John Gruden as the head coach of the Tampa Bay Bucks by a brilliant Tampa Bay defense. Okay, so here we are, game 1 of the season, 2002 NFL Raider replay. Again, and I've talked about, I have not talked about this publicly. And I'm not going to because it sounds like negative criticism. I do not like the extra drive and the end of game and a half rolls. I prefer competition, and for competition to be legit, there has to be regulation. Seattle gets a fair number of chances. Oakland gets a fair number of chances. I'm not only interested in the history and the accuracy, but I'm interested in competition. So for my future drive time football, I will use a set number of possessions so both teams get a fair shake. So we're going to roll the dice. Seattle will be offense. If they roll offense, they get to choose to kick or receive, and they get defense. So the Raiders will win the toss. The Raiders will choose to take the ball. So it's going to be Oakland, Seattle, Oakland, Seattle. So my first quarters will always be 4 possessions. My second quarters will always be 5 possessions. So this will be 18 possessions. Oakland, Seattle, and that means Oakland will get the ball in the final 2 minutes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and Oakland will get the final 2 minutes of the first half. And then, of course, it'll be Seattle, Oakland, Seattle, Oakland. And then, of course, we have Seattle starting the fourth quarter, Oakland, Seattle, Oakland, and the Seahawks would get the final 2-minute drive. And I prefer, again, for historical accuracy, I understand this is one of the most unique things about drive time are these extra drive rolls, and these. So that's very cool for uniqueness. It's one of my stickling points for why I haven't played a full replay project of drive time football versus game-winning drive football, which I've played the 2010 season. I've played the NFL Europe 19, I can't remember what year it was. I played that complete season. I've played most of the USFL season. So game-winning drive football I've played a ton of. And I prefer historically accurate teams, but with regulation games, right? Both teams get their fair chance to turn it over, etc., etc. Okay. So just know that I'm not playing this rules as written. It is May 6, 26 when I'm starting this 2002 Oakland Raider project. May the best team win. And also we have our kick and punt returns. I'm going to be resolving those one time. So I will roll for Oakland's kick return right now. If they get it, they get it. If they don't, they do not, and I'm done. I won't be rolling any extraneous rolls for Oakland beyond their interception returns. So here we go. Do they get their kick return today? They do not. So now we can just go on and play football. So Oakland gets the ball first. Their opening drive, they get a kick return out to about the 26. And their first drive of the game is going to be looking at Seattle's defense, and that's going to be a potential safety. And yes, the Raiders are going to suffer a safety. Can you believe it? Seattle. Safety. Holy cow, what a way to start. Seattle gets a rare safety on their defense. Unbelievable. Boxcars, and then you roll again to see if that safety counts. And Seattle scores a safety. The Raiders suffer. Oakland, it's now going to be Seattle 2-0. Seattle gets the ball. Let's do their punt return right now. This would be a punt following the safety. They do not return it. So I'll do their kick return later. Seattle goes to work following the safety. And it's going to be defense 3. The Raiders defense forces a fumble. So the Raiders, by the way, it would have been a fumble, but it's a safety. So here, Seattle fumbles. All right, Oakland goes to work. Do they have a fumble return? They do not. Oakland goes to work. It's going to be offense 3. It's a punt for the Raiders. And Seattle's already tried their punt return, so they do not have another punt return chance. And Seattle's offense 7 is going to be in the red zone, so we're looking at a red zone trip on offense. And what does that red zone trip look like? It is 7. It's going to be a touchdown pass, TD pass. Their extra point is good. And folks, it is Seattle 9, Raiders nothing. Folks, first quarter, not good for the Raiders at home in the black hole right there. Okay, so Raiders get the ball to start the second quarter. They've already rolled their kick return, so they go to work. They need Rich Gannon and company to get going. They're in the red zone. Offense. Let's go ahead and find out what Rich Gannon does to make this interesting. 9 is going to be a touchdown run. TD run, and the Raiders get the PAT. Folks, it is Seattle 9, Raiders 7. Seattle goes to work. Now their kick return chance. They do have a chance with Snake Eyes. They don't get it. So that's their kick return done. Seattle offense 7 is going to be a red zone trip. So red zone offense for Seattle. So their offense looking good today. And they had that safety. That may be all they need to hold on and win this. 9 is going to be a field goal. So they're going to get a field goal. Folks, Seattle, a thorn in our side. It's 12-7. And Oakland, though, can take the lead with 1 touchdown. Oakland goes to work. Offense 5, red zone. Offense. Boy, both offense. We have not seen a red zone defense yet. And the Raiders is 5. Field goal. Oof. Seattle 12. Raiders 10. Seattle, their final drive of the first half. Defense 12. Oh, chance at a safety for the Raiders. A 1 or a 2, and the Raiders will return the favor. Safety! Oh my God, Seattle, we gotta get an Oakland safety. Are you kidding me? What are the odds? Guess what, folks? It is Seattle 12, Raiders 12. The Raiders, though, get the ball for the final drive of the half. What a game. Defense 8, punt. Raiders forced to punt. My God. So we're going to see touchdown. Seattle had, okay, so Seattle, the Raiders had 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the Raiders scored literally 12. Seattle got 3. It is 12-12 at halftime. Crazy game. Both teams record a defense boxcars, and then both teams turn those into safeties. That's unbelievable. Seattle 12, Raiders 12. Seattle gets the ball coming out of the tunnel, and Mike Holmgren. Actually, would this have been Mike Holmgren yet? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was Mike Holmgren in 2002. It's definitely Sean Alexander, Hasselback. I can't remember the coaches, though. I'm thinking it's Holmgren still. Offense. I should say not still. I think he just joined them, and then they'll end up in the Super Bowl in a few years against Pittsburgh. Offense 4 is going to be a punt. So the Raider defense finally slows down Seattle. Can the Raiders start to take advantage here? Raiders defense 4. It's going to be a punt. So both defenses playing well after halftime adjustments. Seattle, offense 9, fumble. Oh, Hasselbeck or Alexander coughed the ball up. The Raiders do not have a fumble return for a touchdown. Oakland in the final drive of the third. Can they take the lead? Offense 9, red zone. How about that? Red zone offense. All right, Raiders, what can we do? Come on, babies. 8 is a touchdown run, so another TD run for the Raiders. PAT's automatic in this. Seattle, 12. Raiders have finally, they needed the entire second and third quarter, as the Raiders have scored 19 unanswered points. The Raiders have finally gotten their shit together, and man, we got a ball game going into the fourth. Folks, this is going to be genius. Seattle starts the fourth. It is offense. Seattle 8. It's going to be a punt. The Raider defense playing since the safety. The Raiders have forced a punt, a fumble, and a punt. The Raider defense flipped a switch, baby. Defense 3, punt. And Seattle returns the favor. Again, holding that Raider offense down. Seattle's final drive before the 2-minute drive. Seattle offense 7, red zone trip. Uh-oh, folks, this is where this is where they could take the lead. Dang it. No, this is where they could tie it. 7, touchdown pass. Matt Hasselbeck finds his target and ties the game. Seattle 19. Raiders 19. Oakland's final drive of the game. And then Seattle gets the final 2-minute drive. Come on, Raiders. You got to score something. Defense 10. Turnover on downs. The Raiders drive down, and instead of going for the field goal, they decide to go for it, and they hand the ball over. You can imagine it's a 2-minute warning, and Seattle may shock the Oakland fans with an opening day win on the road for the 2002 season. Come on, Raiders. You got to force overtime. Defense 7. Picked off. Raiders interception. 2, snake eyes, and the Raiders will win the game on a pick 6. No, intercepted. We're going into overtime. Holy cow. Overtime will be 4 for me. OT, and we'll roll. Offense, Seattle wins the overtime toss. Defense, Raiders win. So, and this is sudden death, the first team to score. So I'm doing sudden death overtime. First team to score in overtime. The Raiders intercept to save their ass. It is 19-19. Fourth quarter. Seattle scored 7, shut out the Raiders. That's going to make it a 19 overtime. Right? 12-19. Yep. Damn, what a game. 19-19. The Raiders, though, any score wins. Sudden death. Defense 9. Punt. The Raiders forced a punt. Seattle's first possession of OT. Oh, man, what a great opening game for the Oakland Raiders. Offense 9. Fumble! They fumble the ball. The Raiders cannot return it. This is the Raiders' final chance to win it. Sudden death. The Raiders force a fumble. And there is no fumble return, so this is it. Raiders need to score something, and they win the game. Offense 9. Red zone. Holy cow, we just hit our last red zone chance. Red zone offense. Okay, Raiders, anything, baby. Do not roll a 10. No 10. 5. Touchdown. Raiders win on a field goal, actually. So a game-winning, this should be game-winning field goal. And the Raiders are going to win this game. Oakland, 2019, 2021, 22-19. The Raiders in overtime are going to win this ball game, folks. 19-22. What a game. The Raiders are 1-0. Seattle will fall to 0-1. On May 6, 2026, we get our finally my first game of the season for my Raider replay in Drive. I'm going to write the Drive Time Football using 18 possession games, right? So again, I like fixed competition. I don't like to make extraneous rolls. I don't need to, right? And so there we go. And the Raiders, in real life, the Raiders won this game 31-17. So this is fairly close. The Raiders were down a about 9 points, and Seattle was up 2 points thanks to that safety. Seattle opened the game up scoring a safety. Then the Raiders get their return safety, made it 12-12 at halftime. Unbelievable. And there you have it, folks. That is almost perfection for me. The only other game that competes with game-winning drive football for fast play, historical gaming is drive time football. Game-winning drive football I've been playing for over a decade, and it has been a desert island game for me, and it is the game I compared all other fast replay games to. You know, games that were actually meant to be historically accurate, not just any fast play games, but and then drive time football came along, and it's just different. And it's a curve versus linear 36 pips. They're both weighted, obviously, for historical accuracy. Game-winning drive football has got some pre-game fiddly bits you have to do to match up the offense versus the defense, which is wonderful because, again, it means we have representation of both sides of the ball. Then it's an efficient game, and it leaves me plenty of space to understand narratively who's getting touchdowns, who's doing its thing. And it's a competition because we have a set number of regulation time in which both teams are going to get their fair number of possessions, which makes it a true competition, obviously weighted based on historical accuracy. This has a bell curve. We get to see the ball matriculate down the field into the red zone, and then we get to see the representation. On this particular version of the game, it's only offensive red zone representation. His official 14D rule set, you're going to get offense and defensive representation. I prefer the old 12D game, but that's just personal preference. And all I've done here is eliminate the extra drive and the end of half extraneous rolls for each team, each quarter, each half, for a actual, again, regulation competition. Both teams are going to get their opportunities. It's what they do with their opportunities. And I prefer that because I also, at the end of the season, I want to see where Oakland does really fit in with all the other teams, because I know that every team had their fair shake, right? So it's going to give me a more standardized result. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Drive Time Football by Powder Blue Sports, the 2002 NFL set. This I ordered, again, this was a custom order with a box set, and I also got a fictional set as well. And I asked John to make the 12D version of these games for me, which is why they don't have Raiders and they don't have the icon, because he can't sell those. So the free version of this would have all those things. But because I ordered these physically, I don't have the Raiders and I don't have their icon. So that's why it looks like it is. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. And you can expect to see more Drive Time Football on my table. More fight card boxing, more baseline, more red eyes, and more four score. Baseball is just not my favorite sport, so I play less baseball than anything ever. It has nothing to do with four score. It has to do with I'm just not a huge baseball tabletop guy. My two favorite sports in the world are football and boxing, and I make no bones about that. I play probably boxing more than anything now. Not just my boxing game, not just this boxing game, but all boxing games. And football, obviously, I play a lot of. Basketball and hockey are probably the most fun. I think I probably have more fun playing baseline basketball than any game I own, and hockey. But again, part of it is just they're just not my favorite sports, right? But there is no doubt I can't play this without a freaking smile on my face, baseline basketball. I'm such a serious football fan that, I can get a little uptight about football. And boxing, I get a little uptight about boxing. I'm almost too serious about these sports that I get a little uptight. These, of course, I just have a blast. So you can expect to see more of them. Anyway, so the Raiders end up in a great game. They spot Seattle 9 points. The Raiders have to overcome that by scoring, at that point, 19 unanswered points. But then Seattle in the fourth shuts the Raiders down, forces overtime. The Raiders hold on and get a sudden death field goal victory. And win it 22-19. What a game. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.